Hi, I'm Ken Edwards.
And I'm Dane Rakestraw. We're with Keystone Steel Wire, manufacturers of Redbrand agricultural fence products.
We're here today to talk about field fence installation.
The steps we're going to show you today will make sure your fence looks great and lasts a long time. Once you have your fence line established, your braces built, and your posts set, it's time to install woven field fence. To do that, we recommend installing a dummy brace to pull off of, as opposed to anything artificial.
The benefits of a dummy brace allows the pulling force of the fence to be transferred back into the permanent brace. Pulling with a tractor or pickup truck is not recommended.
A dummy brace is a temporary system, and by dropping the post in the hole, we're just going to leave it loose in the hole for right now. We're going to construct this by drilling a hole higher than the fence wire will be and pinning this system together just by drilling holes in the cross member and the permanent brace and then through the dummy brace, which is all illustrated here.
We're using a 3/8 drill bit because we're going to use 3/8 brace pins.
And this thing's just going to pin together, and again, when we get done, we're going to take this thing apart and reuse this system for our next installation. Here I'm sighting up the hole for the first hole that I drilled into the permanent brace assembly. This hole will be drilled all the way through. And again, keep in mind this whole system here that I'm building is a temporary system. So as you can see, there's holes drilled in both ends of the cross member. One in the corner post, the permanent corner post, and then one all the way through the dummy brace post, the vertical dummy brace post. Using a 3/8 brace pin, which we used on building our braces. We're using the 10-inch brace pins to pin this system together.
You can get these at your local ag supply store.
Slip the cross member over the first pin in the permanent corner post. Line it up with your dummy brace post, and then just tap the 10-inch brace pin into the cross member. And as you can see, this is higher than the permanent brace cross member.
Allows so you can wrap the fence around it, not run into the post or run into the cross member.
Here you can use a couple pieces of scrap lumber just to shim this post up. You want to make it kind of sturdy.
Unroll the wire, leaving enough product to wrap around the post.
When unrolling the wire, make sure that you have either an extra hand or something keeping the wire
And rolling back up.
from
Yeah,
rolling back
that'll
up.
happen.
Next, stand the product up.
Normally at your first line post, and this will allow you to be able to work a little easier when you go to wrap the wire around the corner post.
You notice here we've got enough excess to make sure we have enough to wrap.
You'll need to strip your vertical wires to have enough horizontal wire to wrap around to itself.
Wrap each horizontal wire back to itself 4 to 5 wraps. A fence tool may make this process easier.
And there's a variety of fence tools out on the market today. Definitely a great investment if you plan on putting up a decent amount of fence. It just saves a lot on your fingers and it makes for a nice wrap, nice looking job.
Here's an example of the finished product.
Next, we're going to demonstrate 2 ways to splice fence together. The first method, just a hand splice. Butt the knots up to each other. Have enough excess to wrap. Use a fence tool if needed. The next method is a mechanical splice. Here we're going to use a crimp sleeve and a crimp tool. Refer to the packaging of the crimp sleeve to see what's right for your product.
These are nice to use because they're relatively quick and they look nice in the end.
You'll notice we crimped this sleeve 3 times.
And again, that's to the manufacturer's recommendations. Just trim off the excess, just so you don't have any long wires protruding out for an animal to get injured on.
Moving to the other end, cut the wire a bit long, leaving enough for tie-off.
Here again, stand the wire up at your first line post.
You can stand the wire up and install a stretcher bar. This can be a commercial item purchased at your local ag supply store or online on our website, or you can simply use 2 2x4s bolted together. Make sure the wire is straight in the stretcher bar.
As this is very important when stretching the wire. Here on the dummy brace, I'm installing a short chain at the top. This will be used for the come along, and another short chain at the bottom, which will also be used for the second come along, which you'll see here shortly.
Next, you'll want to install your come-alongs to your dummy brace.
And there's your 1-ton come-alongs, which normally have about 12 foot of cable, which allows you plenty of room to maneuver.
Next, you'll want to start tensioning your fence, alternating between top and bottom.
And be aware of any obstructions that may be in your fence row, such as roots or stumps sticking up that could catch on the vertical wires. Walk your fence line again to check for those obstructions, or maybe where it could be hanging on a T-post or anything such as that.
Walk the fence line to stand the fence up.
Finish tensioning with one arm only, because you do not want to overstretch the product.
As you can see, using that dummy brace adds force back into the system. Make sure the vertical wire is straight with the post, so you have equal tension on top and bottom. Next, you'll want to start wrapping the wires. Make sure to start with the middle wires first, leave the top and bottom for last.
Strip your vertical wires and wrap one wire at a time around the post to itself, wrapping a minimum of 4 to 5 times.
Before doing the top and bottom wires, you'll need to hard staple. And let off on the come along slightly before cutting. Finish by stapling or fixing your fence post clips. Rest easy, knowing your herd is safe and secure with Redbrand Fence.
We hope that the techniques that we showed you today are beneficial in your fence construction project.
The tools we used today can be found at your local ag supply store or on our website. Also, for a list of local Redbrand dealers, log on to redbrand.com.